one of the things that they talk about is, and some of the advice they give is that people that procrastinate often have a lot of anxiety, or they might have a lot of confusion or a lot of uncertainty about the thing that they're trying to achieve. They let their own fears get in the way, which leads them to feeling frustrated or then feel guilty or full of stress for not getting the thing done, which I can totally see. And one of the things that I've noticed in my clients that tend to be procrastinators is that when they say, I'm going to do this or I want to do this, and then they don't, and then their inner critic jumps in and barrages them with all kinds of negative commentary about, how they're worthless or whatever for not doing what they intended to do versus just going and doing it. Eckhart Tolle, in one of his books, and I don't remember which one it was, talks about doing tasks. And his commentary was, you can do tasks with joy, you can do tasks with enthusiasm, or you can do tasks with neutrality. I mean, you can do tasks with griping, like doing your taxes, you can do that griping. But if you can shift yourself and do it from a neutral place, it makes the task not be that bad. For a long time, I really did not like mowing my yard. And it's not my favorite thing to do. I'm much more willing to do it these days. But I decided to take on that mentality of, it needs to be done. I'm just going to go do it. And I'm just going to be in a neutral place and do it and not kind of whine every time I turn the lawnmower around. And after taking on that thought pattern, what I have come to find is that when I get the yard mow, I look at it and I feel like a sense of achievement and a sense of accomplishment and how good the yard looks mowed versus how it looked before I mowed it. So I know that that's a thing where just being neutral to the task and not taking it in on a neutral wavelength. But there was another thing that they talked about with regard to procrastinators. And this is that procrastinators, this is a biochemistry thing. This is some studies that were done, that procrastinators have a higher amygdala volume. And you're probably going, what the heck is an amygdala? Well, the amygdala is a portion of the brain that processes our fear and risk assessment. And so it is also responsible for individuals to have more fear and anxiety because their body is able to process more biochemicals. But one of the other sides of it is that when we complete a task, our body releases dopamine. And so, using my example, I mowed my yard, I'm looking at it going, wow, that looks really good. So apparently my body released some dopamine, which is the feel-good chemical, which makes you feel better about putting the energy out and putting the energy in. And so one of the suggestions that they made, especially if you're a procrastinator, is to do small tasks and multiple tasks in smaller segments so you can allow your body to release some dopamine into your body. And then this is a me thing, and then acknowledge the success. I cleaned off my kitchen table. I organized things on this shelf. Whatever it is, acknowledge the success. Because it's some of the things that you can do to break this cycle. So in my book, all right, hang on. Dang.